Good evening, welcome back, Poetry Lovers. It is I, ZMYs, and here I am with another home recording just for you. You have reached part 1 of the David Bowie box set reviews. This is 5 years, 1969 to 1973. First of all, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Mr. Darren Locke, who's inspired me to do these box set reviews. I know sometimes he does individual album reviews, which I will do occasionally, but he does an amazing job, mainly concentrating on prog rock. That is his field, and let me tell you, people, he knows his stuff. So I provided his page in the description, so go check it out. And yeah, without further ado, we shall begin. So, 5 years. So, you have to remember, this excludes his earliest work. If you'd like to see a video about the David Bowie compilation early on, 1964 to 1966, you may do so at the click of a button. Just also click that link, which is provided in this description. And you'll also have to remember that this excludes his self-titled album, David Bowie, which came out in 1967 and was later on reissued as a deluxe edition, which of course I have, and also the Darren anthology. So yeah, whoever I bought this from, I'm not too crazy about the condition. It said brand new on it, and technically it was. I mean, it looked like this with the plastic wrapping, so what's up with that? So it's pretty hefty. I believe, until we find out about later box sets that are being released after Loving the Alien, I believe this is the most number of discs or albums that are available in one of his reissued box sets. When it comes to my Bowie merchandise, I'm quite the stickler, so I might invest in a new box set, but not at this time. Maybe over time, but we'll see how this holds. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the contents. Nice to see you coming out of your shell, Mr. Bowie. So, in order we have Space Oddity, Man Who Sold the World, Hunky-Dory, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, 2003 mix, Live, Santa Monica 72, Aladdin Sane, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, the motion picture soundtrack, Pinups, and the separate compilation exclusive to this box set, Recall 1, as well as the lovely, lovely booklet. So, let us take all of them out, and I will be laying all of them out across this table here. So, first, Space Oddity. And the reason why it doesn't say Space Oddity on the side is because originally it was just going to be called David Bowie, and another name was Man of Words, Man of Music. And quite the incredible album, which with each CD they've wanted to redesign and recreate the original LPs, which I thought was amazing. And so this is a very folky album with psychedelic elements hidden all over the place. And, as you know, UK psychedelia is very different from American. It's Hermione Farthingale in the Clouds, his first love. So, it's the song Letter to Hermione. This one could be Wild-Eyed Boy from Free Cloud, but it could also be him, who knows. And there are other elements. Memory of a Free Festival, Signet Committee. So my favorite songs include the title track, the demo version of An Occasional Dream, and Memory of a Free Festival, the original version, the original full-length version. They did a re-recorded version, as well as the re-recorded version, but in separate parts, like part 1 and part 2, with what I like to call the weekend mantra. The sun machine is coming down, and we're gonna have a party. So, absolutely fantastic album. Let's see if I missed out any of my favorite tracks. I think I said all of them. One that is not included on here, which is very unfortunate, is Don't Sit Down. It's 40 seconds. It's sort of this happy-go-lucky track, but it turns out it was it was a guitar intro that was stuck, unwashed and somewhat slightly dazed. So there's that. So, being laid out there. Next is The Man Who Sold the World. And some would say that he's evolved into very early examples of heavy metal, like the opening track, The Width of a Circle. Oh my god. The ultimate battle of good and evil in its lyrics. One of my favorite tracks ever, ever, ever. Black Country Rock is another one of my favorites. It's sort of a slight nod to Mark Bolan and T-Rex, his friend and rival at the time, especially in his falsetto verse at the end, sort of, well, not exactly a verse, sort of reprising the chorus. All the Madmen is wonderful. There are elements of Friedrich Nietzsche hidden all over the place, like in All the Madmen and The Supermen, one of the best closing tracks I've ever heard in my life. I love The Supermen very much. I like the title track. It's pretty decent. Running Gun Blues is one of my favorites. And yeah, and then After All. Oh my god, After All is one of the most, not only peaceful, but most, I guess, just sort of haunting tracks I've ever heard in my life. You should also note, poetry lovers, that within some of these albums, they stuck in little gifs, whether they were little posters or flyers from the original LPs, or sometimes like a lyric sheet, whatever. Don't think there's any in this one. But I won't be revealing everything, poetry lovers. I won't be taking every gift out. Or maybe I will. So you people are just wonderful. Let's see if they stuck in anything in Space Oddity. Or Man of Words, Man of Music. Well, sometimes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They have these little record sleeves. So, the equipment. So, very nice, very nice. Next, sort of a singer-songwriter album, I would say. Hunky-Dory, most notably famous for Changes. And it just so happens that my latest book is being released on December 17th, which is also the day that this was released. And this is one of 3 albums of Bowie that completely changed my life and reached me in a very dark time where not even loving family and friends could reach me. It was Bowie's music and just the overall person that he was. It just got me through so much. But it's a story for another time. Writing an essay. Favorite tracks from here include Life on Mars. Love that one. You can even find a 2016 mix on the compilation. I believe Nothing Has Changed. No, I'm sorry. Legacy. And a lot of it's stripped and whatnot, but it's amazing. I love Kooks. His first song to his son. I like Quicksand, it's alright. Queen Bitch is definitely one of my favorites. I definitely love Andy Warhol. On certain bootlegs I've heard a longer intro. And because originally before that there was a song called Bombers. And I do like Oh You Pretty Things. It's pretty decent. And the Bewley Brothers. Oh my god, what a way to close an album. Oh, just hauntingly beautiful, I say. So, that is Hunky-Dory. Let's try and make as much room as possible for all the albums, shall we? Yeah. Okay. I believe you people know this album, and if you don't, well, I'm speechless. I mean, I'm not one to judge. I met a lovely girl who said she has never heard of the Beatles. It's one thing if you don't like them, it's fine, it's whatever, but if you haven't heard of them, acknowledge their existence. I mean, they're not just music, they're history, and as is Bowie. But, yeah, so that conversation kind of came to a quick... I seriously thought she was kidding half of the time, and I said, "Are you serious? You haven't heard of the Beatles?" She says, "Yep." Anyway, favorite tracks from this beautiful rock opera / concept album, as it says, to be played at maximum volume. I love Soul Love, but I prefer the stage version more, from his live album 1978 stage. Star is one of my favorites. Star and Hang On To Yourself, they're two great rockers. If you don't know what rockers are, like, as far as tracks go, they're a bit heavy, intense. I love Suffragette City. It's one of my favorites. Definitely another rocker. Moonage Daydream is just incredible, amazing. Starman, can't go wrong with that. I do like It Ain't Easy very, very much, especially with the backing vocals. 5 Years, not only does it make him weep at the end of the song, but it makes me weep. It's such a beautiful, beautiful song. Yeah. Let's see if any gifts were included in this. Ah, yes. Okay. Well, this is a record sleeve, but it includes, profiles of everybody, of the Spiders. There's Bowie. There's Trevor Bolder, Woody Woodmansey, and Mick Ronson. Brilliant and talented guitarist. So, let's put that back. And, of course, the lyrics on the back. Just incredible. You may wonder why It Ain't Easy is not on here. That's because Bowie did not write it. It is a cover. One of the few concept albums / rock operas I've ever seen with a cover. It's quite brilliant. Let's see if any gifts were included with Hunky-Dory. I wonder. Because, I've seen some of them. They have, like, little flyers and posters and fan club cards and whatever. Ah, look at this. Look at this. Passed right through. The lyrics. All the songs. Absolutely wonderful. And even includes Fill Your Heart. And, yeah. Just something else. Something else. Yeah. So, you could really tell that Hunky-Dory was a singer-songwriter album, and contains some elements of glam rock, but Ziggy Stardust really just... I mean, Bowie knew how to transcend barriers in general with his music, but Ziggy Stardust transcended all barriers in general. It is not an overrated album, contrary to popular belief. It's one of his greatest... Well, to me, all of his albums are his greatest, even the works that he considers to be not so great, but opinions are opinions. I'm going to turn this on the side, just in case. Okay, so this is essentially the same thing. Ziggy Stardust, Spiders from Mars 2003 remix. And includes all the same songs, different pictures. Here's the thing, though. There are tons of reissues and remixes of Bowie, especially of Ziggy. There's the original 1972 version, the 1999 remaster, with that whole series of CDs. The 2002 remaster, which I also have. It's the 30th anniversary edition, which includes a second disc full of rarities and singles and whatnot related to the album. However, I think I might need to buy a new version of the anniversary edition because the booklet has just completely detached itself from the album. It's very annoying. Okay, so, yeah. And then, of course, there's the 2012 40th anniversary edition remaster. So, yeah, I'll include a nice little updated version of the record sleeve of pictures of all the spiders and the songs. Indeed. I will explain the rarities after I am finished reviewing the box set, so just hold your horses, people. Okay. Next up is Live, Santa Monica 72. This originally started off as a bootleg recording of this concert, but it became incredibly popularized so much that they decided to officially release it. It introduces a lot of his older works, even back from Space Oddity, and it includes a cover of a song by Jacques Brel called My Death. I believe that's who wrote it. Just give me a second. Yeah. And it includes a new song at the time called The Gene Genie, which would later be included on Aladdin Sane. Who knew? So, this was also released as a huge box set. I got the smaller box set because every time I try and find one of the bigger ones, it's just, the price is just ridiculous, but it makes sense because there was a limited amount. I did, however, invest in the Station to Station Super Deluxe box set. Aladdin Sane. Yes. 1973, otherwise known as Ziggy in America. Excuse me while I check for gifts in the Live Santa Monica 72 section. It's a nice little picture of Bowie as Ziggy, and in full Gene Genie promo film garb. So, Aladdin Sane, and the centerfold. But yeah, as he would call Ziggy in America. And he had this whole lineup planned for for each song where they were supposed to be located. Absolutely incredible. That is in the booklet. And in here, the gift is, oh my goodness, look at this thing. It's a nice record sleeve, but includes all the lyrics to all the songs, except of course, Let's Spend the Night Together. So, favorite tracks on here include Lady Grinning Soul, which, by the way, oh look at this, another gift. Nice little love note to his fans. He did love the fans here and there, but he was mainly in the arts for himself, which I can respect that as an artist. So, while I'm putting this back, let me tell you my favorite tracks. Yeah, so Mike Garson played some of the most beautiful piano parts I have ever heard in my life. That includes on that and some avant-garde piano on the title track, Aladdin Sane. I also loved his song Time. By the way, poetry lovers, a good question for you. 2 songs called Time were released in 1973, one by David Bowie and one by Pink Floyd. Which song do you prefer and why? Comment on that, if you will. Think about that. Okay, this isn't going back in, so let me just pause really quick. Okay, I finally got it back in there. That's what she... Anyway, so, let's see if I missed anything else. I love Drivin' Saturday. One of my favorite slow songs, and of course he meant to do that with with his very skilled just knowledge of music in general. Sort of a doo-wop. It's very reminiscent of doo-wop. Cracked Actor is pretty decent, but I do prefer the David Live version of that track. The Prettiest Star I also loved as well. It's very, very beautiful. It was originally a song to his wife, played in 1970, with Mark Bolan on guitar. But then he re-recorded for this album. So, very glam rock in Aladdin Sane, I must say. Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, the motion picture. Originally released in 1983, I believe. Look at that. Bowie quits. You know why? You know why it says that, Poetry Lovers? Do you know why? Well, I'll tell you. On one of the tracks on here, the farewell speech, Bowie was very well known for saying at that moment, which none of the band members knew. Not only is this the last show of the tour, but it's the last show that we'll ever do. And everybody was so shocked because, like, was this the death of Ziggy? But Bowie later confirmed that the David Live album was the final death of Ziggy. Final death. So, yeah. Gifts in here. Yeah, let's see. Records. A little. See, Stars and Spiders from Mars, Part 1. And he did perform with the Spiders. It was a very... Bowie's been in a ton of bands. I almost forget the names of every single one of them. This is before his solo career. And before he even got with the Spiders. So, there's the set list. Well, no, the track list for, yeah. Yeah, so let's see. He's very well known for his covers. Bowie's very well known for that. Yep, covers My Death, and then Let's Spend the Night Together from Aladdin Sane. And then White Light, White Heat, which was originally written by Lou Reed for the Velvet Underground, I believe. So, there is that album. Next is his covers album, Pin-Ups, and there's Miss Twiggy, Twig the Wonder Kid. And, so, as it says here, yes, these songs are among my favorites from the 64 to 67 period of London. So, some of my favorites include See Emily Play, originally by Pink Floyd during the Syd Barrett years, which was personally my favorite era of Pink Floyd. I love his solo work as well, so shout out to Syd Barrett. May you rest in peace, lad. Everything's Alright. Incredible, amazing track. Friday on My Mind. It's gotten me through many weeks. A song called Sorrow, which was definitely one of his more well-known covers from here. And, yeah. So, let's see. Any gifts from Pin-Ups at all? Let's see. Ah, yes. Nice little card. And, Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Lyrics. And, there's the, part where he introduces his band. And, yeah, so it was a nice little innovative project. I really enjoyed it. You could tell that Bowie had a lot of fun on it. It's a nice little break from what he usually does. And, of course, he's pictured with his sax. So his first instrument that he ever played was a saxophone. But, Poetry Lovers, can you guess what kind of saxophone? Alto or tenor? Comment on that. Last but not least, the final CD, Recall 1. There are 2 discs in here. So, time to explain to you, Poetry Lovers, the rarities of David Bowie in this period. So, we have a lot of them. Space Oddity, original UK mono, single edit, and Wild Eyed Boy from 3 Cloud, original UK mono single version. Ragazzo Sola, which is Italian for Lonely Boy, Lonely Girl. It's the Italian version of Space Oddity. Very interesting. The original version of Prettiest Star, Conversation Piece, Memory River Free Festival, Parts 1 and 2, All the Madmen, mono single edit, Janine, which is a mono version, Holy Holy, original mono single version, Moonage Daydream, the Arnold Corns single version, Hang On To Yourself, the Arnold Corns single version, and CD2, Changes, mono single version, Andy Warhol mono single version, Starman original single mix, John I'm Only Dancing original single version, The Gene Genie original single mix, Drive-In Saturday German single edit, Round and Round, which is a Chuck Berry cover, John I'm Only Dancing sax version, Time US single edit, Amsterdam, Holy Holy Spiders version, which is the re-recorded version, and Velvet Goldmine. So let me explain something to you, poetry lovers. The rarities go way beyond this. If you want to find some great Bowie rarities, especially from this period, some of my personal favorites include April's Tooth of Gold, Little Toy Soldier, which was recorded with the Riot Squad, the 1969 Foxgrove demos, which was, in my opinion, a very, very important piece of Bowie's history, pretty much the making of Space Oddity, with a couple other unreleased songs called I'm Not Quite and Lover to the Dawn. But, so here's the thing. These rarities Recall includes some rarities. There are much, much more. Just look at the bonus tracks of each of these albums. They left out demo versions of Lady Stardust and Ziggy Stardust. And Lady Stardust was originally called He Was Alright, a song for Mark, as in Mark Bolan. Like Hunky-Dory. They left out Bombers. Left out the alternate mix of the Bewlay Brothers, and the demo version of Quicksand, and of course, all of those Hunky-Dory demos. Not to mention the complete Arnold Corns sessions. Now, yes, I realize some of these are mainly bootlegged, but some of them have been released over the years, these rarities I speak of. They left out Lightning Frightening, for goodness sakes, which was a wonderful song, which was recorded during The Man Who Sold the World. I don't think they left anything out with Space Oddity, if I remember correctly. They did leave out, from Ziggy Stardust, Sweet Head, which is a wonderful sexual rocker, just like Velvet Goldmine. And with pinups, besides including Amsterdam, which they did too, Bowie did another cover of Bruce Springsteen. It's called Growin' Up. But then again, it was only included as a bonus track on here because Bruce Springsteen is not from London. He's an American musician. And last but not least, this is the beautiful booklet that's included. Some interviews, some press releases, some rare photos, handwritten lyrics. Goes through pretty much all the albums. I'm not gonna let you see all of it, poetry lovers. I've spoiled enough for you. See for yourself. Buy the box set. You will not regret it. And there you have it. 5 years. 6 studio albums. 2 live albums. 1 compilation. So altogether are 10 albums. And as far as the number of discs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12. So 12 discs in all. And don't forget, it's also available in vinyl. So, yeah. Poetry lives. Long live David Bowie. And music. And the arts. Okay, goodbye.